Hey now, how it do today? And Kmar here, feeling about the luckiest man alive. I'm here today on episode 15 of Lurking with Attitude with two of the most amazing women in the industry. I'm here with, you're welcome, this is Lindsey Renner from native Humboldt.
Hi everyone.
And with us as well is Shenell #1 from Humboldt Farm.
Hi.
How do you like Lurking with Attitude now?
They're not ready for it.
They ain't ready. They
Well,
gonna love us.
let us just be. I'm going to have a hard time not being tongue-tied in this, so I'm going to leave a little bit of this up to y'all. But we can get started by maybe you tell us about your business. And I know that I contacted you from some of the inspiring things that I've heard you saying in your posts most recently on Instagram.
Thank you. So I'm the owner of Native Humboldt Farms, and I am Wailaki. So I'm Native American, and I actually get to cultivate on land that belonged to my Wailaki ancestors in the 1700s and 1800s before white incursion. And then after white incursion, it belonged to my third great-grandmother, Chow Roe. It came back into my possession 13 years ago, and I actually grew up. It's kind of complicated, but without the Native American side of my family, and I actually ended up on the property in Bloxburg for 3 years before I found them. And so I was there for 3 years before we found out that it was literally land that belonged to my family, which is so crazy. And I've been there for 13 years cultivating. I am married and I have children, and for the first 8 years that I lived out there, I wasn't necessarily the main cultivator, so my husband John was. And in 2015 we had a total loss house fire, and our entire house burnt down, and we saved 2,500 plants. And it's just a super crazy situation when you have a fire and you're like in survival mode. And we didn't really talk about it, but we had insurance. It came through pretty soon. We got a house in Bembo, put a down payment on it. And I just started commuting out there. And it was very traumatic. And John took it really, really hard. He makes lists, and, we were going to be out there forever, and that's how our life was going to be, and it all changed in a second, and he just really had a hard time dealing with it. And we didn't talk about it, and I took the 2,500 plants, went out. That was my first season, so that's 2015, and I grew 9,800 square feet. That was the year that we had to prove existing with the county. We had normally only grown about 99 plants, and so I was able to prove 9,800 square feet, which was great when we permitted with the county the next year. We only permitted for 5,000 square feet, but I grew mostly diesel. I did really great. That's when my relationship with the plant kind of started. I guess this is my 6th year. I actually just got John back out this year. So I did 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19 by myself out there. And literally everything, all the planting. I built the beds out there. I brought out all the soil. I brought out and we plant native soil too. I brought out all of the wood for the beds, fencing, just everything. I've done that, and then I finally got him back out there this year, which was great. I mean, it's crazy how traumatic of a situation it was. Literally, when everything changes in a heartbeat, it's pretty crazy. But I wouldn't have gained the connection that I have with cannabis if that didn't happen. If the house didn't burn down, if John didn't go to Benbow, if I wasn't forced to take over and go back in there, I wouldn't have really gained this incredible relationship with cannabis. We probably wouldn't have permitted.
Right.
I wouldn't be so involved in the industry now. I do have manufacturing, so I have cultivation, I have manufacturing, and then Shenell and I just started our own distribution company. That's kind of me.
So you're both each successful independent farmers, but you're collaborating with the distribution.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, we're collaborating on distribution. I think that, regulation's been hard, right?
It's been so
hard.
hard.
How's it been for Humboldt Farm?
It's been so hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to obtain the license, but it's also hard to keep the license. With all the new rules, they just like pop on you out of nowhere, and inspections and every compliance step along the way. It's been really hard.
And what is your history with establishing Humboldt Farm?
So I came here 11 years ago to pursue the cannabis dream. I've been selling cannabis since I was 16. That's when I first consumed. I just knew that, like, I found my calling immediately. And I've never had a real job. I never indulged in, like, a regular paycheck. I've only been an independent worker my whole life. So I came here. I trimmed 11 years ago. Just like kind of getting a feel for what Humboldt County had to offer. I was homeless, just like finding my way. I was actually homeless for the first year and a half here. I trimmed like 2 seasons, and I just realized that I wanted to work for me. I didn't want to work for somebody else. I understood cannabis, and I had a true passion for it. I wasn't here for the money, which I saw a lot of the farmers like back in the day were just here for money, you know. So I came here, I trimmed, eventually just started buying and selling cannabis, and that was really my come up. And I got my first farm 7 years ago, just like a little rental, and I did just me, no partners. It was so hard. Like, my first year we did not make money. I don't know how I survived. And I didn't realize how much it really took to grow cannabis. It's not just throwing plants in the ground and watching them grow. Like, you're fighting off people trying to rob you. The cops are coming. Like, so many things happening in between. And just being a female out there, like, being responsible. I'm in charge. It's a lot, and it still is a lot. But I have an incredible business partner now. So I grew by myself for 3 years, and then I moved down 20 minutes away to Bridgeville. Partnered with John. He goes by Rabbit. He's my best friend, and he's the best. And we partnered and started the legal process. He had just got busted growing. He had like 400 pounds. He was fighting a court case, and it helped him to go legal. I wanted to take myself more seriously, so it just made sense for me to do the same. And we partnered. I've been at it ever since.
Great. Well, thanks for telling us about that. I had been curious because I have heard scrutiny of you being a part of only merely branding.
Right. I get that a lot. It's hard for people to believe a young woman in the industry is actually doing it. It's hard for people to believe that women can be bosses, can be owners, and farm. Farming is hard.
And that's sad. And that's sad.
that's
Can we
sad.
just say that right now?
That's sad.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. Why can't women do that?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why can't we? And I mean, I actually get that too a lot. You know, I've gotten that before, and I actually know other women farmers who also get that as well.
Yeah.
Or I've been like, if I have nails on, then how could I be farming? I'm like, gloves. Why are you guys coming at women like that? You know, people should be building them up and happy that we're doing that. I actually had someone tell me one time, I gave them some weed, and they were like, wow, this is really good. I can't believe a woman grew it. And they're like, I just didn't ever expect a woman to be a good grower. And I was like, really? I mean, because we're not like mothers who birth things and like nurture them and take care of them their whole lives. Like,
ever since the world began, women have been mending the ways of man. So, like, you know.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it's kind of like, I don't understand why people are doing that. So I'm happy to see so many women farmers.
Yeah. Me too.
It's amazing. I really. What about legalization and what has changed since then? Tell me how that's going for you. How has legalization changed things, and how is it? What are your feelings about it?
I mean, legalization for me was crazy because I have such a small farm, so it's 5,000 square feet. I knew that I had to move into manufacturing like immediately. You know, I had to have something more. I wasn't going to be able to make it when it just was this, you know, corporate industry, which we all knew it's heading towards, or it's already there, or whatever. And so I moved into manufacturing, and that was difficult. I mean, I probably got into it a little bit too early, so I locked in a building in Eureka in 2017, was permitted and had my manufacturing permit January 1st, 2018. And so you think that that's great. I was like, I need to be on it. I need to be ready, you know, and I was. And then the rest of the industry wasn't, because you're building an entire new industry, right? I mean, we had like the proposed regulations at first, or emergency regulations, all this kind of stuff. Well, nothing was set in stone. And then you had, you know, the BCC, CDFA, CDPH, all not really sure what they were supposed to do.
For sure.
And so, I mean, I remember I sent my first batch of topicals to batch testing, I think in February of 2018, and SC Labs called me and they were like, we don't know what to do.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Like, we don't know what to do. We're not really sure how we're supposed to do it. And, you know, people didn't know, you know, even the labs, they didn't know. So I literally have, you know, somewhere on my Gmail, a thread of like 40 different emails that went back and forth between Pacific Expeditors, was a distributor I was working with, SC Labs, the BCC, the CDPH, going like, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do? And then I even had, so one of the things was initially THCA, and I'm almost positive right now it's still not regulated, but I had the CDPH come in, and you know how some flower is THCA at first, right? And they were like, well, you only have to label THC and CBD. And I was like, okay, well, some of this flower is THCA. It's going to turn into THC when someone lights it, or like in rosin or something like that. Is it required to be on the package? And they said not at this time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, that was probably like June 2018. Point being, I mean, it was so new. Like, we just, you know, we're building an entire new set of regulations and rules and standards for an industry that's been running, and so that makes it, you know, more difficult. But yeah, and then I think the main issue after that and everything kind of settled down was just distribution, and not having that, you know, arm's reach to the retail. Like, clearly, you know, we've always been the broker.
Yep.
You know, I mean, before regulation, we got to sell the weed and we got to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, for me, that's been pretty much like one of my main hurdles, I think, in legalization.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and permitting our farm, they didn't make it easy. We're not a corporation. We don't have investors. Like, it cost more money than realistically you know, they kind of outlined the costs in the beginning, and it's far exceeded that, and we're still in the process, and it feels like we could lose our permit at any time still being a farmer. Like, even though we've gone through all these hurdles and done everything they've asked, they will just remove it over some little like stream or something that really we didn't foresee, and they could have pointed out early on in the process to save us a lot of time and money.
So there's been complications that have just been because it's a fledgling industry.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, where do you see areas for improvement, and what type of suggestions would you have? Where are the places in the foundations of this industry that you feel like need to be reinforced?
Well, I mean, I think that as small farmers, just not having control over distribution was huge.
Huge.
I mean, like, we basically made everything impossible. Like, we're growing and we're doing all this work, and, you know, and then we don't get to actually have the product to sell, and then we don't get the money when that happens.
Yeah,
like,
and we trust somebody else to push our brand for us, and we have no control over if they're representing us properly or like getting paid. We came through on all our parts. We harvested when we said we were. The weed is on point. Why can't we go collect money? Why can't we make the connections with a dispensary? I mean,
that was huge for me. I mean, that was, huge. I felt, you know, we got to this point by being so, I mean, not controlling, but like on top of everything, right? We controlled every aspect. That's why we got here. Like, I didn't use any, like, a consulting firm. Like, you did your own. Like,
we did all our own.
And so I'm kind of putting two and two together here and seeing that having a distribution of your own, you can do more of a farm to table.
Oh yeah, it's necessary. Yeah. I mean, it was so crazy too, because I really didn't even realize how I knew it was important, but until, like, we just got our license on, we did our final walkthrough with the city of Eureka on August 20th, I think. And
So late in the season.
right. And then just the other day, I made my first calls as a distributor, as a wholesaler, as compared to a brand. Crazy. The response was crazy. And then immediately everyone was, they were ready to accept samples, because as a brand, so I'm working with an outside distributor, and, then I talk to a retailer. They know that I can't deliver the product. I can't deliver samples. I have no control over that. So them talking to me, they're not as interested in doing that. But knowing that as a distributor, if I say that I'm going to get you samples, if I call you on Friday and I want to deliver samples and you say yes, I'm coming on Monday.
Yeah.
I'd come on
Seriously.
Saturday if you were open.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it done, and you don't have to have a middleman. Like a distribution, outside distribution is the middleman.
It is.
Like,
it's so unnecessary.
A middleman has never been helpful.
No.
Like, who wants a middleman? So, Shenell, me, and Ashley from Three Creeks Farms all started Eureka Distribution, so that we could basically sell our own product. We're not necessarily like pushing brands or anything like that, but it was cool. We got to do some deliveries today.
And then when you have a sample sent to a dispensary,
right.
Then you have terms that need to be worked out with points and so forth, and the net 15 or 30 days and that kind of stuff. I would imagine that that's all so complicated that it seems to me that it would be a rigmarole to get everything to fall into place and into alignment. I'm sure it's got its challenges.
It does.
A lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like today we're like trying to organize everything and figure out our structure, and we thought it was going to take how long?
Yeah.
A long time. To get us there, to the point.
Sure.
Because we have to be cultivators now.
Yeah.
And distributors. Like,
Yeah.
I hoped that, I know you had hope in a distributor. You were very hopeful.
I was very
hopeful. You were talking really great about them.
I know. Just short time ago, I was saying great things about them, and I'm disappointed this year. And I know that a lot of these distribution companies, they solely have distribution. Oftentimes they don't cultivate, they don't have a storefront, so they have to do all these things to make their money. And a lot of times brands get put on the back burner, and we have a pretty incredible brand. We won Best Farm of 2020. And so I just don't understand how our products aren't selling, how somebody could be holding our products and not making the sales. Because I know if I had the products and it was up to me, I would sell them. So,
and I'll be really honest right now. I'll say what it looks like is happening right now. So we have all these small farmers, right? And they have all this product. It's harvest right now. And now we have quite a few distributors. Even up here. And they want to onboard all of the weed that they can. They want all of the cannabis that they can, right? And then, so they kind of like hoard it, and they promise you the world. And they're like, okay, we can definitely sell it. And then they're sitting on, you had depths that came out in July depths. Like, those should be gone.
Those should be gone.
And those are not gone.
Not
and that's
a single one.
And so the product that you put all of your energy, effort, love, everything that you are doing, it encompasses your actual being.
Yes.
And it sits on a shelf and loses its vitality, and because of a bottleneck of some sort. Somehow I questioned with an episode, I believe it was 11, we talked with James Millis from Los Angeles, a broker down there, and I was very curious about what happens to that product that's getting too much shelf life, and how does that end up being utilized. And so if you've got A flower becoming B flower because it's taking so long to move, that seems to me like there's got to be more direct.
Yeah, and imagine this: like we baby our stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we make sure it's at the proper temperature, it's stored correctly. Maybe it's vacuum sealed, maybe it's not. Whatever's going on, like that is our whole life. And so, if you give it to a distributor, say in July when stuff should have went for $1,900, and it sits there, I mean, you're not in control of how they're storing it, how many times they're showing it, like, you know, I mean, just, yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, so having control over that is crazy, and I'm really excited, like, you're just jarring up your
Gelato, yeah.
So this will be
your gelato, though.
It's so good.
Is it right there?
Yeah, there's a nug of it in here.
Oh my god.
I'll make sure and take a nice photograph.
Yeah, I'm going to give you this nug.
Would anybody like some tea?
I'll take some tea, yeah.
Sure.
This is just beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah, we're really excited
Yeah.
to be jarring our own. I mean, our jars have hit the shelves already and did so great, and it's been disappointing to not have had it on the shelves.
Yeah.
I'll include the picture that you posted today.
Awesome. Awesome.
You guys been hard at work all day long?
We've been hard at work.
Yeah.
We went to multiple dispensaries, dropped off samples, we packaged
Well, and then
all
not
day.
only that, but on the holidays you play like the ganja rabbit, or what is it? And
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
I know.
Tell us about that.
So on Easter, it had been COVID, shut down for a little bit, and everybody's getting a little stir crazy. So I came up with this idea where I would run around and bless Humboldt County locals, at least in town, with a little sample of our cannabis, and I was gonna make it fun, like an Easter egg hunt. So I
Shit had cash in it.
and some money. I made it fun. Like I put everybody got 2 eggs. One had some form of money, one to like $20 in it. Then the other egg had cannabis. There was like stickers and cute little things to just like.
How many houses did you stop at?
I did 70 houses by myself that day. It took me 12 hours of just driving and pulling up to strangers' homes and hiding Easter eggs. I had ears on and everything. It was so fulfilling. It was so, I mean,
Can I follow you with a camera next time?
yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right.
We have to. Let's do it again soon.
You
Because
know,
that was so much
And
fun.
Yeah.
you have such an amazing following, and it's because you love your followers so much. I mean, that was huge. I mean, that took you all day long, and
Yeah.
like they just love you so much, and I love that.
Yeah.
This
I
is
did.
this
so
is
cool.
the journal that you got your award this year in.
Yeah, the best
Yeah.
of, or is that North Coast? No, it was for the Times Standard.
Oh, got
yeah,
you.
yeah, totally.
Got
I
you.
should have brought.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to bring that up because on one of my first episodes, we did the North Coast Journal's top cannabis products. So we reviewed Space Gems and Ursa and Papa Select for the awards that were given this year for that. But you got the one for Best Farm in Humboldt, Times
Best Farm
Standard.
in Humboldt in the Times Standard. It's so exciting.
I love it.
So we won the award. Humboldt Herb Council won Best Extraction. Proper Wellness won Best Dispensary.
That's right.
And we're actually doing a big collab with the three. So we did Fresh Frozen with Humboldt Herb Council. The products are ready. We're just in testing right now. So they're dropping in like 2 weeks probably. And we're dropping them at Proper Wellness, the best dispensary in Humboldt. So it's really exciting. Like, things are really taking off. Our brand is getting recognition, and it's because of the work that we do, really. It's not because of a distributor. It's because of our
I
marketing.
think so.
Yeah.
I see the people that are thriving in their own personal lives, and the people that are doing good are good people. And it really, I see this type of symbiosis and collaboration.
Right.
There's a collective consciousness with everyone kind of pulling each other up.
Yeah.
And I see there's a big uprising, and I've seen the opportunity to kind of slow down this year and regroup. And it seems to me that a lot of people have found a better focal point than they may have in the chaos of the route things have been going.
Right. Yeah, and I think that, we're definitely, like, teaming up for us has really been working well, and I think that, that should be the case more often in the cannabis industry, you know, instead of competing and things like that. Like, the only thing we're competing against is, like, corporate cannabis.
For sure.
I mean, we're not competing against each other.
Or other
if you
small
win, I
farms.
win.
Yeah.
Other farms, small farms.
We
win.
love it.
We all win.
We all win.
We are all in this together, and it's difficult to trust people. And even we got into distribution, and it's hard. It's definitely hard to trust people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even we were like, is this gonna
At
work?
first, absolutely.
How is this gonna work out and everything? But we really do need to band together and really just jump in and do it, and just be for the betterment of the plant and have the right intention and everything like that. And I do think in the end, the people that are in it for the wrong reasons are going to start to fall off. Like you're saying, you're seeing this uprising, of and everyone that's doing well and everything right now. And I think that's, that's the plant. Like, it has a purpose.
Yeah.
It has, an intention. And when you, cater to that, with good intentions, I think that we're going to win,
Yeah.
But, I'm super happy that I partnered with you.
Me too.
And it is going really well. It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's we get to go.
Walk us through how that's happened.
How did it happen?
Yeah.
Man, when did I meet you?
Okay, so I was a fan of hers.
She's so cute.
I really was on Instagram.
She was the cutest thing ever. She came up to my booth at the
HCGA.
No, at the
Emerald Cup
Emerald
was where
Cup.
we met for the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
yes.
it?
Yes, it was.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
it was.
So cute and just so supportive and I don't think I've ever felt so supported by anyone in my entire life. And then what happened from there? We just kind of kept in touch.
And watched each other.
Yeah.
We're both the faces of our
Right.
company.
Right.
So we're both really sharing our story on social
Right.
media.
Yeah.
Yours is so inspiring, and you felt the
yours
same
too.
about mine.
Yeah.
And so we just kept in touch and kept seeing each other
Right.
and built this connection we could not.
Well, now there's a
You know
community.
what? I'm going to tell
yeah.
you something else. So, what happened? I needed something done at my facility. And you and Rob came and helped. I forget what it was. It was
Yeah.
I needed help with something. It was my security stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I needed it done
You had to walk through.
immediately.
Yeah.
And my security system wasn't working. The camera, I couldn't get the cameras to come show me what it was recording, but I couldn't get to see what was on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And you guys immediately dropped everything and came and helped me. And I probably bartered something with you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I literally, I never forgot it. And then so that's probably a year ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
When it came time I knew I needed distribution. And I was I remember you guys came in once and I was hey, I'm talking to a couple of people. Honestly, you guys are kind of a couple of the only people I might, really
down with,
think that you're going to be there for me,
For
and
sure.
really get this done with me. And we weren't fully in it. And then we went through a lot of different people. A lot of different people thought that maybe they might want to do it. And then they decided that they didn't. And at the end of the day, it was us.
Yeah.
And Ashley. Yeah, it's really been
convenient.
cool.
It's kind of gotten to a point that when people aren't giving you an opportunity, you have to create your own.
Right. No, exactly.
And I'm kind of glad I figured that out. It's going well.
No, I'm
Yeah.
I'm super happy for you too.
Seriously.
I'm glad that you're just taking things into your own hands and just manifesting and seeing it come to fruition. And I think that's definitely what it is in the cannabis industry too.
Yeah.
It's we're I jarred up my stuff today. You're gonna drop your stuff next week. We're gonna get in the car. We're gonna make the phone calls. We're gonna go to San Francisco, Redding. We're
Yeah.
gonna do whatever it takes to get it sold, which is a lot.
Now,
we
are
have
you
this
going to
whole-
increase your staff for the spring on the farm so that you don't have to work as hard as you normally have had to? Or it seems to me that you're going to really kind of need to expand to be able to focus on what you're taking on.
I think for now, we're not really sure what that looks like because we do really we haven't got to do distribution yet because we're farmers.
Have you used
So,
temporary employment services at all, or?
No, you guys have one helper on your farm?
We don't have any.
Yeah, no,
We didn't
don't.
have any this year.
Wow.
And
Yeah, John's incredible. He could literally probably do the whole farm himself if I wanted to focus on sales.
yeah.
Well,
he's
what's
the
hard to
beast.
find? It's not easy to. You've got to watch your bottom line for one thing.
Yeah, we do.
To bring on a payroll is not easy, and then but on the same token, it's also not exactly simple to find the right workers and have rapport with people like you need. It's one of the reasons why I think the Full Moon Farms team is so strong and so forth, is that they've had that going and established for quite a while.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to juggle everything. It's hard to figure out what we are going to do. I mean, so Shenell and I, like, John, we're home from the farm now. So, like, John's with my children. And, you know, so Shenell and I are going to focus on manufacturing, packaging, sales. We're going to be traveling. I mean, definitely a solid until, you know, March. And then I don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, if the sales take off more than the farm, the sales actually have more potential than a farm.
For sure.
In general. And now that, you know, Shenell has distribution, because when you have a farm, you can only source from your own farm. Like, if I have Native Humboldt Farms and I don't have manufacturing or distribution, I can't source from bulk from a different farm to jar up as my own. Like, if I have cultivation,
Like a white label type thing?
Yeah, you cannot do it. You can only source from your own farm. But now that, you know, Shenell has distribution, she can, if she runs out of her own product because her brand takes off, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, then she can start pulling from other farms and really keep the brand going. So the brands actually have more potential than the farms. Like, we have small farms. How many square feet do you have?
6,800.
Yeah, I have 5,000, or I have 4,800 or something like that. So I mean, clearly the potential there is like less than, okay, if we get into 50 retailers in the next 6 months, I may have to think about hiring someone for the farm. We may have to do sales the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm not. It's
Your
so
product line stems beyond flower, though, doesn't it?
Mine does. Yeah, mine does.
What do you offer?
So I have a line of topicals. I have a relief balm, which is incredible. So instead of like a coconut oil base, it's a kokum butter base, which is kind of like a shea butter, or a mango butter, but better. It's like absolutely amazing. It helps to protect against free radicals, and it tends to be a sunscreen. It helps with burns. There's like argan oil in it, kukui. I mean, just all these really high-end rosehip seed oil, and then it has a clove. And it's crazy because, so to make it, I'm not going to shout out any names, but I do have one competitor that has had a lot of funding in the topical market. A lot of funding.
Yes.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Like out of the area money?
Oh, yeah. Like
Definitely.
$100 million of investment or something.
I know who you're talking about.
And so my product actually cost about 10 times more than theirs to make. And so if I wasn't self-funded and I had an investor, that I wouldn't be able to make it, because they'd go, what are you talking about? You can't spend that much on making a product. But see, me as a cultivator, as someone that's came from this industry, who, like, this was my life, and I love the plant, I love the people that use it, I love growing it, I love spreading it, I love advocating for it. I want to make the best product that I can. And so if I make a little bit less money, then I make a little bit less money. But you get this balm that, I mean, I really should be doing clinical trials on it. I mean, it is incredible, and it's far superior. And so, it's been crazy. So yeah, and it's very small. Topicals are a small market, so it's hard to, I think. I mean, at one point in time, before that big company, so this is something that the big company did, was they spent a lot of their money on marketing topicals, which is great, and that helps us. That creates a shelf space. So I think it went from like 5% of sales, recreational sales, to like 20%. So that's great, but it's still a small market. So right now I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait for you to try it. So I have an edible coming out. I'm almost done with R&D, and it's a pink ruby chocolate. And so ruby chocolate is kind of like considered the fourth chocolate. It just came out on the market at the end of 2019. It's infused with rosin, and it's basically, it's pink, but it has no added colors or flavors, and it kind of tastes like fresh fruit and white chocolate. And so, coming out with that soon.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited
I
for
know.
you to see episode 14 of Lurking with Attitude with Aloha Humboldt and the pairings that she brought, and we did. It was an amazing experience. It was truly something like I had never done before, which she was trying. She said that's what we're going for. And so that was an interesting thing, to smell what she had there in the
Right.
fruits, and then smell the cannabis was like I've never had an experience that enhanced one another so well. And then
So she would
the chocolate
basically-
and the wine
Right.
and the chocolate torte. They've got recipes for each of their strains that you can get on their website. That they do these pairings in these meals.
Wow.
So you basically
these
take the
meals.
terpenes and then pair
Yeah,
the
well,
terpenes with
Yes,
yeah.
with
Wow.
different
That's
wines.
incredible.
Such an
And
experience.
food.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
so they've been doing that for a while, and they've got the recipes on their website
That's
to,
amazing.
That's so
to
cool.
match their strains. So
I love that.
it was amazing. I sat. I mean, I am still. I'm still floating back down from that episode, and then to have
Right.
you guys here.
I
Can I
mean-
try some of your flour?
Absolutely. It's
And then that brings me to remembering what
cheesecake.
I was trying to recall
Yeah.
when I was so stoned. That you talked about your appreciation and love and respect for
Yeah.
for cannabis, but you don't partake in smoking.
I don't smoke. Yeah.
But do you utilize it in other forms?
I do.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that almost appeals to me. I've been a lifetime smoker myself, and I am I'm going to smoke joints till the last day I
Right.
live. But
Same.
but I could smoke less. I would like to enjoy it other ways. I can feel sometimes like the effects of smoking a little bit.
Yeah.
Too
Well, you know
much.
what's crazy, and I haven't really done a lot of research, but my husband John, he smoked so much forever, and then recently, the last couple years,
Wow, what a
he's
flavor.
been taking dabs. It's Straniana plus mixed with the cheese, mixed with ice cream cake.
Okay.
Blended up all together. It's Straniana cheesecake.
Nice.
Is it
Well, this is
good?
delicious.
Oh,
This is so
good.
yummy. Yeah.
Good. Well,
Mhm.
he was smoking so much, like literally like 40 dabs a day or something.
Yeah.
And then he started to get like kind of nauseous and stuff and have these issues. And then I'm not really sure if it's true, but some people have been saying that you can get kind of like, you can have ill effects because, I mean,
Yeah.
You know,
my best friend.
yeah.
It's
it's not,
there's a word for
Yeah.
it. I can't think of it
Yeah.
right now, but she has been hospitalized.
yes.
Over
Yeah.
taking
And then-
dabs specifically,
Well,
actually.
and then I heard for the first time, just interviewing Lindsey Jones, that CBD can counteract being too
Medical-
high on THC.
Yes,
Yes.
It can.
Yes.
It can. Isn't that cool? I know.
But I had never heard that, and I was like,
Wow.
"You're kidding."
We almost need to make a tincture specifically for that.
Like if you get too
an
high.
emergency.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you get too high, you can go to this dispensary and buy that
Wow.
emergency, or
It
just
reminds
keep it
me
like
of Alice
an
in Wonderland
EpiPen.
when she eats
Right.
too
You know,
much,
keep
and then
it at
she
your
has
house.
to eat something
Exact-
different to
uh-huh.
get small again.
like for new smokers too, because
Yeah.
they don't know how each strain is gonna
Yeah.
hit them or
Mhm.
what.
Yeah.
So
We talked about that in episode
Yeah.
14, low and slow.
for
Well,
sure.
yeah. I think that's so important too, because I think a lot of the times, you get brands and stuff, they want to buy 20% THC or over now. You're not seeing a lot of people buy some mixed ratios or like a 2
It's
1
been a
or
big
like whatever.
topic on the show.
Yeah.
Has been the entourage effect, not being held accountable, and that there's this standard like there would be with, say, wine and
Exactly.
an alcohol content,
Exactly.
as really not the most accurate way
Yeah.
to
There's
consider
a lot of different
the
things
effects.
that go into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And clearly the terpenes
So these are
do
things.
have a
These are
different-
things such as this that really I feel like need to be considered in some way to be reorganized, or I'm not sure what the term is I'm looking for, but it seems to me that.
Put in some sort of a guide, a book. We
Well,
can write a book.
what kind well, ramifications? No. It is an R word though.
Well, there's so much happening, I think. So we've never talked about cannabis, and I'm not sure if this is what you were going to say, but we've never had the platform to openly just get on here and talk with everyone and let them
Totally.
know kind of our experience or what we're going through or anything like
Yeah.
that. So cannabis came so far, and we do need, it came so far, we've learned so much, even us, like
Yeah.
I literally didn't even used to talk to my friends who grew about growing.
Totally.
Until like 2016, we filed with the county, and then all of a sudden we have Instagrams and we're talking to our friends and
Yeah.
we're sharing like nutrient recipes and compost tea recipes and all that kind of stuff. Like before,
Yeah.
we didn't even really talk about it at all, and I love that we can get on here and help kind of like spread the new knowledge. There's a lot of new users, that's a thing. Like people come into the dispensary, some of them like I am a super lightweight. Like I'm a super lightweight, and it's like, I like tinctures because I can dose it just right. And if I want to get high, I can. If I don't want to get high, I can take like 4 milligrams or something like that. You know, a few times a day, just to saturate, you know, my cannabinoid system. And so it's like there's all this new stuff.
Where do you recommend people getting educated on becoming acquainted with not getting loaded to a point that's uncomfortable?
Maybe here.
I'm having a hard time talking.
Maybe here. Maybe we can go over that. Well, see, I actually, I had a CBD tincture, and then I won the Emerald Cup for the tinctures in the 2018, with a brand that I created called Alchemy Jane, and it was made with Ghost Train Haze rosin, and I won first place. And what's cool about that one is, like, I could go to, like, my aunt or someone who, you know, had never smoked weed and couldn't sleep or was in pain, but they were afraid of THC. They didn't want to get high, right? But they needed to sleep or they needed something. And I would say, listen, you can start with 1 drop. You can then you can move to 2, and the next day you can move to 3. And you can be with tinctures. You can do 2.5 milligrams. You can do 7.8 milligrams. You can do, you know, whatever you want to do, and you can find your spot. So like maybe at 3.5 you don't feel anything at all, but your headache's gone. Like maybe at, you know, 5.5, like you get a really good night's sleep and you're not high. Maybe you are high at 5.5. Maybe you know, it just depends on everyone's body. So I mean, I love tinctures for that, like micro dosing. And I just have to say, so like my theory is that, you know, so when you smoke, you've got so we have this endocannabinoid system, right? So we have cannabinoid receptors all over our body. When you smoke, they interact with the ones in your brain. When you eat it, they interact with all of like your internal organs. When you use it topically, they interact with all the receptors on your skin and on your body and everything. My theory is that we're supposed to, you know, I mean, you can use it however you want to, but I think that everyone's supposed to be microdosing in all 3 of those ways all the time, like every single day, to keep those that cannabinoid system saturated, because like it's almost like a missing link. And cannabis is the missing link. It's a missing link to everything. The universe, the world, today, whatever. Our bodies, our minds, like whatever, it's a missing link. And I feel like microdosing and all of those and saturating your entire cannabinoid system at all points in time will create a homeostasis within your body to make everything maybe, you know, run perfectly.
Amazing. I'm learning things. I've been a pot-smoking, hair-brained hippie forever, and I'm learning stuff about weed that I had no idea when I thought I knew everything about it, you know? And
and that's amazing, because we can talk about it now. You know, we can talk with people about it, and we can have events, and we can, we can have brands.
How much would it cost to take a bong hit on my show?
Too much.
All right, we can't go there. And so what about
maybe next time?
Okay, maybe next time. I'll save.
I'll drive next time.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I took a bong rip,
you'd be like, ooh.
How do you find the courage to just be as bold and daring as you are?
Oh, wow. It took a long time. It took a lot of self-realization and being in like truly the lowest place I could be and figuring out my self-worth, you know. No matter what, people judged me at every stage of my life, whether I was successful, whether I was homeless, whether I was anything, you know. I have been to rehab and jail and eaten out of trash cans and done so many things in my life that were, why would I care now what people think of me? Like, they don't know a lot of my background and my story. And it's been hard, for sure, putting myself out there that way, but...
Well, I know. I mean, I've been domestically challenged and on a bench on the street corners of Eureka with nowhere to go and tears. And I feel like, you know, if you've come from that point and you go to where you get, there's nothing along that line that you have done that you don't appreciate. And so when you get to a point that you accomplish things that are so miraculous that you could never even imagine that you could do that, I really feel like that's one of the great things about being a part and integrating with people that are being as successful as all of the people that have been on the show and that are going to continue to come on are, that it's because we've gotten in alignment, we've gotten our houses wired properly, we've figured out how to do things correctly, and that's why we're finding success. Whereas there's so much trial and error and adapt and pivot that Humboldt County has always been a survival of the fittest. I've had to do things over the years that I have kept myself afloat by being willing to not do the things I want to do and do the things that I don't want to do. And now let's talk, while you're such prominent women in cannabis industry, who are other women that you see and that have been inspirations to you, and equally you feel like are a part of the local area and the triangle?
Okay, so not locally, but in California, and people will probably think this is weird, but Lori Ajax, the head of the BCC.
Yeah.
Because, literally, going through the whole regulation process and stuff, it had to be so crazy.
For sure.
And just, so much ridicule and everyone going, and you're really trying to create this entire new industry, you know? And just being, in charge of that and everything like that. I love that so much. That's so inspiring to me. And then locally, I love Tina from Moonmade Farms. Do you know Tina?
Not yet, no.
Dude, you have to know Tina. She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's the coolest person.
I've seen her brand around.
She is
Which brand is that?
It's Moonmade Farms.
Okay.
Moonmade Farms, and literally, just the coolest person you'll ever meet in your life. And she loves cannabis so much. We were on the, we did an informational panel during Meadowlands, that company Meadow?
Okay.
Virtual thing the other day, but super cool, super amazing. And then also Wendy from Space Gems. And clearly she's just such an OG.
She is incredible.
She's such an OG.
Her products have been around forever. And they've always been consistent. And incredible.
And the other thing with Wendy is that, I've gotten so much support from her. I don't even think we've ever met either. And she'll reach out on Instagram and tell me congratulations, or I see what you're doing, or I'm happy you have distribution that's really going to help you, or whatever. And it's been such a source of, it's been great to have that support.
She does the same with me, and I haven't met her, but I get a lot of slack from women in the industry.
I don't get a lot of support.
A lot of women don't like me in the industry. I know you get similar vibes, and
well, you have an aggressive marketing strategy.
Absolutely, I truly do. But the people who love me. You can't deny my hard work.
I think it's genius. I think it's extremely efficient and effective, and I can't imagine that you've done anything personally to anyone that has caused them to have those type of feelings. I think it's the recognition of going as far as you do on the limb of being. That's why I asked you how it is to be have so much courage and be daring and really I think it's an example of it's people that are here that are showing you that you can do this, and that you may not be able to do it under the same circumstances that we did, but you could do it under different circumstances, and it'll turn out to your best interest as well, I think.
Well, and the crazy thing is with Shenell, you're so many things. So many amazing, incredible things. You're literally such an inspirational person to me. So Shenell. And, but you're not one thing, okay? There's not one side of you. And your marketing strategy is a side of you. And it's an amazing, powerful, bold side of you. And Shenell also has other sides to her as well. And also that's a brand. And that was your marketing, technique for that. And, you attract bold, powerful women. You have so many supporters that like that, but it's not your only side. And I will say that you're literally like one of the most responsible and wholesome and just, loving, compassionate, nice people I've ever met. And it's like, if someone sees your Instagram, we had this issue when we were forming our distribution company.
Yeah.
And, it was another woman, actually. And she called and she's like, I don't know if I can partner with Shenell. Because
her ass is too
having
nice.
never met me.
Exactly.
Having never met
her. And I said,
me.
well, maybe you need to meet her first. And she's like, she had already came to this whole conclusion. And I was like, I'm pretty sure let's just meet her. Just meet her. You can decide then, but you have to meet her first.
Yeah.
And, it was a big thing, and they really just couldn't get past it. And, I mean, I'm sorry, but they lost out, and not even on a relationship with an exceptional woman, but on a distribution company, because you can't put everybody in a box. Nobody has to fit into
you can't
society's
sell something
box.
to somebody who's not buying. And if you've got a program that somebody else can't get with, then they're not going to get with your program.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that I found out that I have a program to get with that I didn't need to get with the program.
Yeah, exactly.
It was okay to be too cool for school.
Exactly. You could be however you want to be, and people are going to accept you for that. And if they don't, that's something within them.
Totally.
Like, you miss out. Like I said, like, that person misses out on an incredible opportunity to have a relationship with Shenell, who's fucking amazing. So, I mean, when people do that, it's just like, I actually feel bad for them. Like, you gotta be judgmental.
But hey, again, you know what? I think that, like, there's this situation with what's occurring this year and this reset, and everybody to reevaluate, like, hey, how am I judging people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because I want to pipe off all the time and give my personal feeling about what I see you doing,
Right.
and it's none of my fucking business.
Right.
None.
No, exactly.
And you know what? So if you can find out that, hey, man, it takes a lot to learn how to consider that, I hadn't thought about things that way. Maybe I should reconsider the way I feel about things, because there's certainly an opportunity for us to all be better people.
It is, absolutely. We definitely all have that opportunity.
And we do get support. Like,
Yeah,
I've received amazing
Well, you
support
do.
in
No,
the
I'm just
community. You do. I mean, a lot. It's funny because a lot of even dispensaries or other companies, they watch me and don't necessarily support me, but they're taking notes.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like, it's flattering and all. But there's been great support. Like,
There has been.
Proper Wellness Center, it really put me on the map.
I was there for that drop,
Yay.
and you know what? You showed me the philosophy that I've adapted from Osho of be, do not try to become. You walked in there, the queen you are, and you just really, like, it was really great to come to you and say, hey, listen, I just discovered you and I came here because I see what you're doing and I see your intent, I can see it in your eyes. I can see it right now. And, that's what's there with people that are bound for glory. And you know what? Get on the train, y'all. All aboard. And I think that is really where I see this great collection of cooperation and connections happening. I hope that this platform can, connect and bridge people to do new things and collaborate and discover. And I know it is already.
With you guys.
I
every
know.
day,
That
every day.
was
Well, I
great.
really hope that we will. I really hope that we can have you back again. I know
We for
I would
sure.
like
Yeah.
you to
The
invite some of your friends over for a Twister game.
What about the
Shenell.
gate girls? What do you think?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Would the gate girls work?
With the gate girls. They're so great.
Well, that will be something to look forward to on Lurking with
sure.
Attitude.
Can't wait.
You guys, thanks so much for coming on, and it's just the start of momentum that has been a long time coming. Can we burn that gelato before you go?
Absolutely, yes.
And
we
let's
have to.
let's give out some shout outs, and who's there behind. I guess you probably already mentioned who is you're involved with, that you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing without, but there's got to be people that you're dealing with on regular basis for similar things, or are you focused on your proprietary stuff yourself?
I mean, being a farmer, we are secluded. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of my neighbors didn't go legal. So they actually just left their farms completely, most of them. So we don't have a lot of people support. Literally, Lindsey is one of my, like...
And it's been so amazing.
It's been so
I don't
amazing.
have anybody, and so, like, all day today I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's just so nice to have someone to work with. And honestly, I mean, so far I've had to do everything myself.
For real.
And if I don't have time to do it, then I can't do it.
Pretty much.
No, you go ahead.
I don't have the money
Yeah.
to hire help, and so it does make it difficult. And you know, we're doing the farming, we're trying to, you know, the formulations, the licensing, all that kind of stuff. And I'm happy to have you.
Me too. I'm so happy to have you. And of course, our business partners. Rabbit is incredible.
Rab is such a big help to me too. Like, he's incredible.
He's literally
he
a
really
genius.
is.
He can fix anything. He can build
Ashley,
anything.
yeah,
He can,
and
Ashley, our other partner
oh my
in
gosh,
distribution.
she's incredible. Yeah,
So great.
she's incredible. She's doing sales for Chronic Creek and Icebox Flat Farms right now, and then she also has her farm.
Where are your products available?
You know what? They're available in some shops down south, but it's actually been pretty crazy because I went from one distributor where we were in about 50 stores, moved to another distributor, and those stores didn't want to work with that distributor. So we lost those. We were in about 15. And then
another reason that third party is a place for a disconnect.
Yeah, so I actually feel like I'm just starting over again. Like, you know,
I bet.
It's hard to find her products anywhere.
Over.
And I've had light depths ready since July, and my jarred products are still they're just now getting the proper.
Well, because I was curious just on why that drop occurred in the spring, and why was that the first drop that you had if you've had the farm going for as long as you have?
Okay, so we got our annual permit finally. It was Thanksgiving, and then it was time to shop for a distributor that we trusted. And that took a while. It took a lot of taking notes on other people's mistakes, really. I mean, sadly, you had to go through some shit, and I watched that and took notes on that and was like scared to trust a distributor with all of my products. So we finally met the Humboldt brand. Proper Wellness Center actually introduced us to the Humboldt brand and started working with them. And so it just took us a long time to find somebody to work with, really.
And that's the Gelato that you're smoking there?
Yes, it is.
I am going to hit that, but you enjoy that for now. What was I going to say? Well, now, because you must have other strains as well, but you're still rocking the Gelato.
The Gelato, we don't know anybody else that really grows it.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't seen it.
When we did drop it, it was the only Gelato on the menu. Like, it was a for sure sell. You know, we also have...
What is the genetics on it?
Do-si-do and Gelato. We have ice cream cake dropping too. But the ice cream cake is a common strain for people to grow this year. Yeah. A lot of people got ice cream cakes. So we are going to drop our ice cream cake. I mean, it's incredible. I smoke it every day. But it's not going to stand out on the menu as much as Gelato because a lot of other farmers did cultivate ice cream cake this year. So
yeah, that seems to be the case.
For sure. It's a really common one. Yeah. Everybody I know grew. But Gelato is... I haven't seen Gelato around really. I have people... inquiring about it all the time, like, where did you guys get that? And we've had it for years. We actually didn't plant it till last year. It was like a tester strain to see if we liked it.
Did you guys do Feast of Flowers? Or
it's insane.
Did you get any to the Feast of Flowers?
Oh, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Yeah, and then with COVID, like, most of the cups now are, like, dying down for the most part. But, yeah, it's a great strain.
Interesting to see how Tim's going to pull that off.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I just realized that I met him randomly one day, just checking out the Buddhas at Area 101 one time traveling, and he pulled up in a little white pickup truck, and then I was watching on YouTube, and I was like, that's the guy I met him, yeah. He seems like a very nice guy.
Yeah, and that's a bummer with the Emerald Cup. I mean, it's such a big, amazing event.
I've been going
and,
forever.
yeah,
Since I got to Humboldt, I
It's
snuck in
What
my
was,
first Emerald Cup.
You know, we'll have more interviews, I hope, in the future. Because
Absolutely.
I would like to hear the play-by-play on how you rebuilt this whole life for yourself. And I know that I suppose if you just follow her, you can see that your accomplishments are both beyond anyone's wildest imaginations. So, I mean, I can't give you guys props enough.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And we are so
Thank
down to be
you.
back, for
yeah,
sure.
thank you for having
Yeah.
us. We really appreciate
Well, we're
it.
gonna do Gate
Yeah.
Grill Twister and maybe some 420 dice too while we're at it. That sounds fun.
Yes.
We'll need a dab rig and some pins and stuff. And so here's the 420 dice
It's
game.
incredible.
Well, I guess we'll just.
We'll see you
Bask
next
in the
time.
glory, yeah. I am just humble. Your presence has been something that I've enjoyed absorbing. I hope everybody will enjoy the content. And thanks so much to everybody. I want to thank, before we go, New World Water, the show's sponsor. And, of course, the program's brought to you by Golden State Chronic. So until we see one another again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Lindsey
Thank you
and
for having me.
Shenell.
Thank you.
And everybody, thanks for tuning in. Until we see each other again, stay tuned.
Bye. That was amazing.
I loved it.
That was so